Hello, hello. Is that Future Funk? It is. It's round one. But did they end up doing that thing they said they were going to do for round two? You know, I haven't even looked at the listing yet. Future Funk round two. Is it like with the sparkles now? Oh no, it looks like they didn't do that with the sparkles. I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad. Shikigami, how you doing, man? Hi, Luther. Hi, Shin. How you doing? Hi, Six. Hi, Raikoi. Hi, Peter. Hi, Kat. How you doing? Derbs, what's up? Bubble Tea. Victoria. Grid. Bear. Oh my god. Thank you, Grid. I'm glad they
I
canceled
got
the
the
glitter.
HMX Sonya RBO switches in today. They're really, really nice.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I need to try a few new, well, not new, but I need to try some more of the HMX stuff. I want it sparkles, but it looked kind of like mold. Unless you do it right. Like, dude, remember those KVD fans ones with the sparkles? That was called like cookies and cream, but it just looked like dust? Basically. The subject of this stream is my wheelhouse. I'm excited for today's stream because it's something we don't get to talk about. Sorry, I have a little bit of a cold, I think, but or something. I don't know what's going on. But you know why I'm actually mostly excited for this stream? It's because it's exciting to see something new. Even if it's not quite in our wheelhouse of, custom stuff, it's in someone else's wheelhouse. And I think there's a lot of room for new things in the hobby. And not for nothing, I kind of feel like the last for a while, I don't know how much exactly, but the last little bit in the hobby has been a lot of like fine-tuning and iterating and getting things right, which is fun in its own regard, but it's also cool to see something different. It's going to be an interesting stream. This is something I've been doing for a while now, looking at some gaming stuff. In fact, if you guys kind of want a little bit of information before I jump into the core of the stream here, I have been looking at Hall Effect and just other gaming-centric keyboards and even this new inductive kind of style keyboard here for months. It's been something I've been doing behind the scenes. I wanted to make sure that I really got a good use case for every type of switch and keyboard out there. Not everything per se, but at least stuff like out of the box for some of this stuff before I started kind of dabbling in it. And that's just kind of the person I am with these things. Like, I'm great at doing mechanical things, I think. But yeah, with this stuff here, it was kind of new. Like, it's stuff I have not really dabbled in. But it's interesting. It's really, really interesting. I think there's some interesting room for inductive in this particular market space for a few different reasons. So we'll see. We'll talk about it here in a bit. But how are you guys doing? I hope everyone's been doing good. I just picked up my mail, dude. Found out they were holding 450 switches from me. Wait, what? How? Saw this board on YouTube yesterday. Wanted to get your opinion on it, Alex. Which one? Let's see. This is Dry Studio Ice Ring? What board is this? Ice Ring 63. I have not heard of this board. Oh, this is the same studio that made the Black Diamond 75. I have no idea. Sometimes these projects here like just escape me. So I'm not sure. Looking forward to seeing what inductive can bring. The only HE switches I actually like are hand-looped palm magnetos? Yeah, I've tried a few of the switches now. With the exception of the Geon HE switches, I'm not like 100% sold on all the HE stuff yet. But I don't know. We'll talk about that here in a sec. Just want to catch up with you guys first. Yeah, it's a different stream. I'm glad though. I'm actually happy that this is a bit of a different stream today. It's not that I feel like mechanical keyboards and stuff are boring, but it is cool to look at other stuff. But I hope everyone's been doing good, man. I had to go outside today and it was freezing cold, and honestly, I'm tired of going outside. But I have to go outside one more time tomorrow, and then again on Friday. Like, I'm just over this. I need some warmth. I need some freaking warmth, dude. Is the Numa you're sending to me, please and thank you? Do you want a Numa now, ain't it? Will we get to see some Alexotos gaming to set this out? No, but I did gaming on the side. I did gaming to test some of this stuff. you know? My 1-year-old is sick with cold, so have snot on me throughout the day. Oh my god, dude. Something's going around. Bowl. My guy Bowl. If you guys don't know who Bowl is, he is the biggest upcoming streamer of the last few years. Good old Bowl. We do love Bowl. How is Bowl doing today? What did you guys build even? I feel like Bowl has so many keyboards to build. God damn. I've tried a few HE boards and switches, but my favorite combo so far has been the Bridge 75 HE. Oh yeah, they had a Bridge 75 Hall Effect version, right? The S100 Symbiote colorway. Now I want to see photos. We need to get Bowl into taking pictures now. That's going to be the next task that I'm going to set out to do. We're going to get Bowl a camera. Oh man. We'll do that for Bowl. Our goal for today's board is to get the Alex sound signature, the ass. Damn. You probably get this question a lot, but what springs are you using in your Nixies? Oh, dude, I love Sprit or TX or Geon or anything long. So 18 millimeters plus, 53.5 or 50 in and around that area. Those are like any of the brands I just said are great. Oddly enough, one of my favorite springs that I don't have a lot of are the Wuche. I think they're triple stage now. I don't remember the exact details, but I have one pack left. 53.5 grams. They're so good, but I only have one pack left. But I've been, dude, the spring rabbit hole is crazy. Oh, he has plenty of cameras. A Bowl. Gotta get you on some picture taking, my friend. I have the QK65 V2 Classic HE version, and I really like it. The Neo switches are alright. But I'm going to try the EC ones in it. Yeah, let me know. Sorry, if I clear my throat a few times, guys, I don't know what it is. Ever since, what was it, like, I feel like 2 months ago when I got sick a little bit, it hasn't gone away. I used the Cappy this morning, and then I switched to this for the stream. Only because I still need to take pictures, and I don't want to get the thing covered with dust and stuff like that. So right now, it's in a little pouch, waiting to be photographed. I can't tell the difference between triple and double most of the time. Usually I can't either. Like, it's just not something that I can physically tell. But I just like the spring. So, oh gosh, sorry guys. I agree that it's refreshing to get out of just refining MX custom boards to remember that there are other worlds out there. I just picked up a cheap Dell AT101W with Black Alps. I own several, but have always top modded them. Fun to experience the original Black Alps sound and feel again. Aren't those particular Alps, or maybe I'm thinking of the wrong Alps, aren't those like really nice ones? Like, not rare, but aren't they kind of coveted in maybe some sort of way there? Dude, I've been drinking water all day. I don't know what it is. I think it's an allergy thing, and I think I just happen to have a lot of allergies in the last like year of my life. I don't know what's going on, but we gotta push through it a little bit, you know? They're kind of mid. People click mod them to make them better. Oh, really? I don't know. I tried a lot of... Oh, they're considered the worst, but they're still Alps, so they're really fun. I've tried a few of the Alp sports. We've even built some for clients, and I thought they were fantastic. That's good. I hope everyone's been having a good one, man. All right, it's what, Wednesday? I don't know if you guys feel the same way. This week here feels like it's just been dragging on. But I ended up gaming a little bit last night with some friends. We played a scary game. I forgot what it's called now, but it was actually pretty good. It was like, there's 4 episodes in it. It was like $5. So we did that. That was fun. And then past that, had some nice conversations today with some friends while I was working. Today's been a little bit jam-packed, but excited for tomorrow. Going to the auto show downtown with my GF, then getting some dinner. Wasn't that last week? You're talking about the one here in Toronto, right, Abel? I thought that was last week. That Poppy Playtime game? No, wait, was it? No, it was one word. I don't remember the name now for the game, but week's definitely been dragging. Dude, the week has been slow for me. So slow. I'm lubing and filming MX2A Browns, and by lubing I mean spreading out the factory lube. Did you get a really bad batch? Nah, that's shitty. When that happens, that's terrible. Oh man. Who finished Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man today? Freaking amazing show. Is this something new? Is that something new that I'm just not aware of? Okay. Really quick. Actually, let me drink some more water first. I feel like now that I started talking, my throat's even worse. Oh, I didn't even know. So good, it's made to look like a comic. Oh, cool. Yeah, there's a lot of nice Spider-Man stuff that I need to check out. Are there even good batches of Prelude MX2As? Wait, why is it all the way over here now? There's no good batches. Have you guys got a good batch of those? I have not. It's all been terrible for me. All been poo. Okay. Let me go over the premise of this stream. So, really quick, we're going to be taking a look mainly at the Ducky. All right, the Ducky One X Mini. The 60%. There's two versions of it. There's a full size, which I thought was surprising and actually kind of nice that there's a full size for this, as well as a 60. I felt it was quite a bold move to have a full and a 60, which it was cool. Your camera said don't even show the face for that answer? Oh, really? Yeah, I know, for real. For the last one, you mean? Yeah, it's interesting. I want to give you guys a little premise of what's going on, and then I want to give you guys a little bit of like how I kind of want to tackle this, because this is something that I'm going to be real with you guys. I put a lot of passion into for this one, because this was something new. I thought the premise of having some new technology in a Switch, regardless of how different it is, was really fun. And I applaud Ducky for making something that is kind of against what everyone else has been doing, but also kind of following the same, aspect of it. What's up, Elk One? So, here's the premise of the stream. I have been trying gaming keyboards, in particular the analog stuff, so like Hall Effect, and even this guy over here, so Inductive. It's the only one of its kind. I've been trying them since probably last summer. It's been a while, and I have tried about 8 of those different boards. I think out of all 8, the only 3 notable ones that I ended up using the most were the Ducky, the Wooting, which I have on my desk as well, and then the Boog. The Boog I don't have on my desk because we've already looked at it once, and the Boog was hit and miss. It was alright. Like, it was not my favorite Hall Effect keyboard to use. I've been using them for a while, exclusively almost for my gaming computer. And just to give you guys some, what were the other 5? Dude, it was like one from KBD fans, some other stuff. Honestly, stuff that's not even worth bringing up. It's some stuff that I kind of even put together myself and just tried. They were just all right. I think there was even just like an off-brand one that I tried using. They were all right. But I've been using the Ducky since December 2nd. So it's been a while. And then in between that, what I've been doing is I've been kind of using the Ducky, which we'll talk about today, and then also the Wooting one, kind of side by side, sorta. So what I would do is kind of just unplug them at the end of the day and just see which one I want to grab, We'll talk about that in a bit and which one I ended up using more. But I think the Ducky was a little bit more my style sound-wise and feel-wise, so, maybe you can imagine which one I ended up grabbing more. But it was an interesting take. It was an interesting kind of, it was an interesting kind of vacation, I guess, from using just MX switches. And the Ducky one was relatively new for I guess, how long I've been using them. But it's also came in and around the same time as the Wooting 80, or the TKL Wooting there that I have on the desk, or the 80, I guess. So it's interesting. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a look at, I guess, the pros and cons of just exclusively the Ducky, and then what I kind of ended up finding out. The main thing about it is it's using something called inductive switches. Well, actually, sorry, really quick. I hope that, I have been using them for a while, just really quick, and I was really adamant about making sure that I can get as much information as I possibly can, and as much, this sounds ridiculous, but field experience using those boards before even talking about them or showing you guys. It's kind of like what I've been doing with the springs on the side, and even what I did with like lubricant a while ago too. Like I just kind of wanted to fully immerse myself before talking about those things. So the next point here, we'll talk about the actual keyboard here in a second, is Hall effect and analog stuff and inductive. Like, where did it fit into my everyday? And I don't know about you guys, because I don't know how many of you guys here are like pro gamers, but at first, and I think if you guys remember about a year ago, I was excited for Hall effect in particular, and it was cool to see all the stuff coming out, but I always said software is going to be very, very important for Hall effect. And that's maybe some foreshadowing for today's stream, but it is a very important aspect for all these things. And I kept saying, even a year ago, that I think Hall effect and these analog style switches, if they can get everything right, it could be a very viable option to pick between something custom like this that we see on the desk, and then something with this internals, or even combined both worlds, right? It's cool. Like, it's a neat technology. So it was exciting taking a look at it, and like I mentioned earlier, it's been a blast getting to look at some new stuff rather than the constant iterations that happen to MX boards, which, by the way, I love, but, you know, sometimes there's such small iterations that they're small talking pieces and they might not mean a lot to everyone. Now, I am not a professional gamer, but I did find a lot of use in the long run, which was weird, for some of the analog stuff. Or I guess you can setting your own actuation points and stuff. I did not think I'd use it as much as I did. So I'm going to come at this from the viewpoint of an enthusiast of custom keyboards, is what I'm trying to say, and an enthusiast, well, I guess someone who dabbles in playing video games. So consider me more of a casual gamer. I am not a pro gamer. I'm not like playing Valorant every single day of my life. It's impossible for me to. I'd love to, though. I'd love to play some games and be competitive, but it's just not possible. So coming in from this perspective. Now, the inductive switches are neat. The inductive switches are a little bit different than the Hall effect ones. Basically, the big difference from what I've learned and from what I've done my research on is the Hall effect switches basically use a sensor per switch to kind of read where the magnet is, which is cool. You can get a little bit more technical if you want. There's tons of other technical charts on those. And the inductive ones, they're not using a magnet, nor is there one chip per, switch here. The inductive ones are using an inductive coil, and it's going to read basically a disruption, which you'll see in the switch, and it basically scans the whole PCB. Now, one of the big things that Ducky came out with, and we'll take a look at the keyboard here too, instead of just my face. One of the things that Ducky, I guess, was trying to aim for with this, but I don't know, I was reading some other articles about this as well. Ducky, and there's some truth to this, where the inductive switches and inductive technology stuff is a bit more power efficient. And there's truth to that, for sure. But with more modern advancements in some of the HE stuff, it's not necessarily the biggest factor anymore. Although it still plays some effect to it. It's not as big as people would think. But we'll dive deep into. We'll take a look at the switches here. But what do you guys think? This is the case for it. So a few things I want to bring up about the case. A few things. It's a plastic case. The price point on this is $140, $139. Honestly, not bad. 139 USD. It's actually not that tall. And I can show you guys with the calipers. I thought this was going to be 22 millimeters or something like that. And I guess the best way to measure this is literally here to here. But it's not crazy tall. I thought this was going to be I guess visually it looks taller than it is. And you know what I think it is? I think it's this. I think it's this curve outwards. And I think that is jarring to our eyes. And it's yeah, this is a tall keyboard. I guess what they thought visually is this would be a little bit more, daring looking by having this front piece done outwards. I gotta say this so first thing right off the bat, we'll talk about the case itself. First thing though, Ducky, I really wish you had done this the other way. I really wish this was done as a cherry lip. Yeah, it's like a cherry underbite for sure. I think this could have, like, there's a lot to like about this keyboard. And I really think that could have just added like a secondary level of comfort to the board. Not that you'll notice this though, like in my gaming with it, I never noticed this being disruptive at all. But I definitely thought that this could have been the other way around for sure. It has some flip out feet. It's made of plastic. You can do 2 different heights over here. Pretty standard gamer stuff, or I guess mainstream stuff. And then we have a Bluetooth and 2.4 gigahertz toggle, as well as the wired toggle, USB-C, and then we also have our receiver here in the back. It also came with a cable and some other stuff in the box too, which we can go over at the end. Oh, my stomach's growling. But overall, the case looks nice. $140 for something new is also cool. But I have a bunch of things I wrote down for this that I thought was pretty important to talk about too, and I kind of want to go over that with you guys as well. So if you guys don't mind me yapping for the next like little bit, I just think this was an interesting project. So we'll talk about a few things, and then we'll take up one of the switches and I'll show you guys. I thought the build quality of this, so I have 2 of these right now. This is just a brand new one that I unboxed today because my other one, not gonna lie to you guys, there's some like gamer gunk on it. Even though I was pretty good with not eating and just being in front of it with food and stuff, you know, some days I succumbed to my weaknesses, and I had some potato chips and stuff, you know. So I just wanted to use the new one, and I didn't want to let you guys see the one that I had been using. So just deal with it. But yeah, the build quality was great. Like, I had no problems with it. The keycaps, we'll talk about them in a little bit too, but the keycaps feel good. The switches felt good. The case construction felt good. It has a nice weight to it. Your cracking dry skin falls on it. I mean, dude, honestly, probably my hands have not been super great lately. But overall, it was good case construction. I'm happy with it. Nothing stands out as bad. So right off the bat, I'm happy with it, albeit it's plastic. Might not be everyone's cup of tea. Also, keep in mind, we're going to come at this from, like I said, a few different perspectives here. But just be open-minded with this, guys. It's not a custom keyboard. It's not, you know, the target market isn't going to be people who are into custom MX keyboards. Sound-wise, I kind of want to do the sound right off the bat because I feel like, you know, it's kind of cool. But Ducky's doing this whole thing, which, let me show you guys the box. They're calling it, like, Quack something or other. I don't remember now exactly what they're using. Where is it? The Quack Mechanics, or Quack Mechanics over here. Like, you guys can see it on the back of the box. I'm going to be honest, I don't love their, like, Ducky's cool and all, like, with their marketing sometimes, but I feel like the Quack Mechanics thing is a little bit, it's a little lame. Like, I'm not going to lie. But it's basically stuffed with foam, and it's stuffed with a whole bunch of different foams, which, again, it's really, it's great that they included all that foam, and it makes the board sound okay. Like, let me show you guys really quick. It's not bad, right? And I think an interesting point is this is the Wooting 80HE, the zinc alloy one. Again, I don't know what you guys think sounds better. And I'm not here to put down Wooting at all, because this was also an excellent keyboard. But yeah, dude, I found myself reaching for this one here a little bit more, right? Like, this was just nicer for me. Oh, by the way, guys, I just wanted to let you guys know, they are, like, they did send us these boards here today, so I do want to thank Ducky for even letting me try these things out. But yeah, very, very thankful. They technically sponsored the stream, so that's not obviously going to change because I have a lot to say about this board. A lot. But yeah, it's a nice sounding board. Even feeling wise, I actually feel like this one here feels a lot nicer, albeit it's stuffed with foam, so it's still a little bit rigid compared to the Wooting. I don't know. I overall just preferred the sound profile of this one here. I have a few, like I said, of the gaming HE stuff. I keep calling it gaming. I shouldn't call it gaming. Oddly enough, the other one I really liked was the Boog. The Boog sounded good, so I ended up using the Boog a lot alongside this guy here. But yeah, it was pretty good. I have to admit, I like the sound profile on this guy. Did I try to mod this one, you mean, Bear? Pretty good. I like the sound profile. They did good with how much stuff they kind of stuffed in there with foam. I just wish that they'd, I wish they'd not call it quack mechanics and stuff and just did something a little bit more formal, I guess. And I'll explain why I think that at the end. Typing experience and switches. So, again, typing experience was good. I liked it. It was a bit, kind of in the middle, I always say. It's like softer, but this one here leaned a bit more rigid. To kind of show you guys the switches too. These are the switches. They're technically hot swap, but keep this in mind. There are no other switches like this on the market, so you can't hot swap them to anything but themselves. Also, this didn't come with any extra switches, which I feel like they should have included like one or two. But there's only this particular switch on the market. And the way this works, like we were talking about, it uses induction coils. Look at this. This is the switch. So it has these like metal spikes, I guess, that pop out. And they disrupt the signal, which can be measured, which is really, really cool. So to talk about that, and is that my next point here? Because I actually wrote so much about this. To talk about that, yeah. Actually, we'll skip to number 7, which is precision, basically. It's interesting. In my findings and doing research for like the last 2 months and just talking to both Ducky and other people and reading about a whole lot of things, there are like, I was like, what are the benefits of these? Like, realistically, let's cut to the chase. Like, why would I want this over something like Hall Effect? Well, the real big benefit, other outside of power consumption, because I feel like that's negligible, is these technically in the long run will be more precise, which I thought was really neat. And it might not mean a lot to everyone. And I think that's also important to keep in mind. Hall effect switches have magnets. Magnets technically can degrade over time. They have some disruption potentially. They're not all made the same. Even calibrating all of the Hall effect sensors the same, because again, this is one thing that scans the entire PCB versus individual sensors, can be a little bit daunting of a task. And then again, you're also using the switch. Maybe not all switch manufacturers are, making switches the same. So precision here, because this is interrupting a consistent induction coil, which is, it's never going to change in theory. This should technically be more precise. These are not a magnet. This is just a piece of metal. So in the long run, this should be more precise. Now, how much does that mean for you in real life use? I don't know how long a magnet would last in one of these things. I can assume, or can make an assumption, that this should be fine for a long time in something like a standard Hall effect board. But, I mean, if that matters to you, if you want the most in precision, then maybe this is something that would mean more to you. Because, again, there's no magnets here. This can't degrade or anything like that, which is cool. I thought that was neat. Now, I was actually hearing some complaints about the lubing. Some people I spoke to while they were testing some boards as well were saying that the internal, like the lube of these weren't that great. And I will comment. I feel like there's no good way to do this on these switches, though. Like, opening these up, I can show you guys. Where's my switch opener now? Let's see. I feel like Ducky still did a really good job on these switches, but I feel like these suffer from the same old stuff that we always see when it comes to mechanical keyboards and pre-lubed switches. Like, this one here is not bad. There's not a lot of extra lube, but you can see there's some lubricant that's kind of just applied, you see, on the metal spike in the middle. And you'll be able to kind of see that, and I assume that gravity will eventually do its thing, and, eventually this will start sliding out of the switch as well. I can't imagine a better way to do this, though. Like, if you wanted to lube the center pole over here, maybe just don't include lube there. Maybe that's the thing. Is there room for improvement on this? Like the pre-lubrication? Yeah, I feel like there's room for improvement here. Maybe even using a dry lube, which is also equally as popular these days. but definitely some room for improvement. But I feel like I did check a whole bunch of switches, and mine seemed okay. But yeah, interesting, very interesting. A little bit of room for improvement there, but ultimately these sound and feel pretty good. Not that you can really tell much without putting it inside the keyboard, but considering that multi-points were announced last summer and they've only appeared in one product, it's not too much of a stretch to say they've been discontinued. Oh, for the Cherry stuff? Is that what you're talking about? Would like to try one of these out, but the fact that it doesn't support split backspace, split right, stepped, caps lock, 7U row keeps me away. Well, that's another talking point we'll kind of get into as well, which is going to be like the who is this for thing. But this is, it's interesting. Definitely interesting on that front. And then next thing would be gaming performance, because this is also going to be something that matters to a lot of people. Gaming performance, and when I say that, I mean like latency, response times, all that stuff. It felt great. Like, I don't have any sort of way to measure these things, and I feel like I'm not the person that can do those things. I feel like you're going to have to go to a different review for that if you're interested in the product at all. But I didn't notice anything. And again, was swapping back and forth consistently from a lot of these things, and I couldn't tell you if there was any latency difference at all. Games I played included some shooter games, League of Legends, a whole bunch of different things, right? But couldn't tell you. This is a 1K polling rate. I've always been on this particular... I've always been on this particular side of the thought process of which I don't personally think the majority of people are going to need more than 1K. I don't know. I just think that's the truth. I think for a mouse it's different. I feel like for a keyboard, not so much. But I also understand the premise, and someone told me this once, recently, and I think it makes a lot of sense, where if you just have all the best gear in the world, the only thing left to blame is yourself when it comes to if you screw up in a game. There are probably use cases, like someone just mentioned, maybe Osu, for sure. But I don't know, like, I've tried the 8K PCBs, and again, like, I don't notice a single difference. So 1000 is usually as much as I personally prefer. There's also some downsides like CPU usage and stuff like that too. You are correct. But yeah, I don't know. 1K is enough for someone who considers themselves I would say maybe more than casual gamer. So 8K polling is exclusively for marketing, but if you're marketing your keyboard as a gaming keyboard that doesn't have 8K, you're going to get crucified. Yeah, I guess I'm coming at it from a different perspective then. I notice 8K allows me to charge my my mouse 10 times more. Oh yeah, because it drains more battery, for sure. Yeah. Ultimately too, like, you know, your skill as a gamer is gonna definitely play a factor in that, for sure. And then the stabilizers. The stabilizers are plate mounted. Now, if you guys know me, listen, I know there's a lot of people who hate plate mounted stabs. If you guys know me, I have no personal quarrels with plate mounted stabs. These stabs felt good. I had no issues with them. On my original unit, I did have to tune them up a little bit more after about a month of using it. I don't know the lubricant that they've actually used in these, but it would be nice to kind of get maybe a better grasp of what they've used. But I did have to touch them up. So as a little thing to Ducky for that, I will say you probably, I guess maybe it was I had an original prototype, but like maybe that particular unit just didn't have the best lubricant in it. But you know what? It was pretty good for the most part. I feel like even with some of my other boards, sometimes you do have to touch them up, but I haven't had to touch it up since. But yeah, stabs were good. No quarrels with stabs here, as someone who again kind of min-maxes their board. Now, I'll talk about a pro with software. The pro is, it's very simple. It was a pretty straightforward piece of software to use, albeit it's not the nicest looking UI. But I kind of understood it rather quickly, and yeah, it was pretty simple in that regards. Ducky did mention in their press kit that they're going to be expanding on it, and I think they even mentioned to some other people that they were going to expand on it and look into doing more. But I'm going to say this. We're going to talk more about the software, which I feel like might be this board's weakest point towards the end here. But yeah, the only positive I can really bring to you guys right now is if you're just not interested in all the features, that these style keyboards will have to offer, then the software is simple. And it's web-based, which is also a huge plus. We're going to talk about that too, Mod, yeah. Power efficiency, we kind of already touched. And then the full-size option. The full-size option was so nice. I was so happy seeing this as an option. I really, really appreciate this. I haven't even opened this one here up. But I appreciate this one here so much. Like, we don't get enough full-size boards at all. And I have to say, like, I love Ducky that they did 60 and full-size. Like, so cool. Love that. I mean, dude, branding aside, let's leave the marketing to the side here. Will the batteries come with an explosion feature? I hope not. But yeah, full size was awesome. I love that. Love that for them. All right. I did see Diamond Lobby tore into his board, into his review, mostly for software. Well, that's going to be some other stuff we're going to talk about here in a second. This also has a tri-mode PCB, which is great. Love to see that as well. Battery life, I did inquire. They did tell me it's roughly 38 to 40 hours with no RGB on for this guy, the 60. Same thing with the full, about 38 to 40, and about 10 to 11 with RGB. It was okay battery life. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't use the wireless features as much as I wanted to. I did use wireless, and I didn't notice any difference in the way the keyboard performed. But I ended up just opting to use wired more just because I don't really have a personal need for a wireless keyboard. So it's just not something I need, but I did test it. It was all right, didn't notice any difference. Now, I want to really dig deep into this a little bit and kind of really talk about some of the more nitty-gritty stuff. And to talk about the first thing, it's the teardown process. I did open up the other one, and we can open up this one here today as well if you guys do want to see the inside. But the teardown process, to put it lightly, wasn't very fun. It is accessible. There are screws, and there's 6 screws in the back. So I use hex screws, which is nice too. No Phillips, which is great. We love to see that. Good screw. But there's plastic tabs on the inside that make this kind of, I'll use the word daunting. It's a bit of a daunting task. I mean, to be honest, it's still easier than the key cult board for sure. But a little bit of a daunting task. I did see some other reviewers, was it yesterday when the things released, when the videos released, that people broke them. I luckily didn't break my original one when I opened it. But yeah, I would say, and I would opt for them to maybe not use plastic tabs. Like, maybe I don't quite get why there's plastic tabs. Hell, I would even opt just to put 2 more screws. Two more screws here. But yeah, I don't really get the whole plastic tab situation. Not really sure there. And the reason why I bring that up is because I would like the ability to kind of go into this, and then if I did want to remove one of those like 8 pieces of foam, you know, it's possible to do. And I think that would have been a really nice thing to kind of to go through and just feel confident in doing so. But that's just not possible with this right now. The switches can be lubed. Yeah, you can even redo all the switches, which is awesome. Love that. But yeah, just removing the foam didn't feel as nice as I'd hope. Like, taking it apart and playing with it wasn't the best of experiences. And it's frustrating and it's time consuming, I felt like too. And especially from the, you know, person who's buying this standpoint, like, you're not going to want to break the thing you buy, right? Like, you wouldn't want to do that. So it's just not something that I think I would want to do here. So the other thing I wanted to bring up, which was a smaller point, which I kind of in the same vein, because this doesn't open up, I do want to push, and this is not really a negative, but it's just another point I want to bring up. I do want to push Ducky to kind of do what everyone else has been doing, which is kind of allowing this to be more of like something that I can buy, and then maybe I can apply in like a universal 60 case. I understand there's reasonings probably why not they can't do that, and you know, all that stuff, but I do like that some of the other boards kind of offer that I can just buy a third-party case and be like, yeah, let's customize it a little bit more. Right now, because this is and this is the next point, a first generation of its kind type thing, you're not going to really get that. Which is an interesting point, right? Being an early adopter, Oh, I don't know why my camera did that. Hold on. Being an early adopter is... It comes with risks, I guess. It's the best way to describe it, not I guess, to risks. While the Switches, they feel great now, like, and who knows what will happen in the future. I don't know. Like, it's just one of those things where, like, you're buying exactly what you're seeing now. And maybe that's the best way. Hold on. Let me reword that, actually. You are buying what you're seeing now, but you're kind of also adopting to something that may have changes down the road. And who knows? You might want to buy the version 2, which has all the refinements of all the gripes you might have with this in 3 or 4 months. So who knows? But just, I think it's a good point to bring up. Like, this is a first-gen product, including the Switches, especially the Switches and the PCB here. So, but before I get into, like, the major point that I want to bring in, I wanted to bring up some more moot points, which is, like, some of the Ducky marketing names were just, like, all right. But then we already kind of touched upon this, which was the amount of foam in here. Really fun. Like, I think it's great. But, again, I would have liked to have been able to open this up. But, I don't know. Maybe we'll bring that to a moot point. So, the other thing now is the software limitations. We can go through the software together. I feel like the software is important to talk about here, right? It is really important to talk about. And this is what the software... Let me share my screen here. You can remove the foam. I don't feel super great about opening the case. So we're gonna bring up our... Where is my... Oh my gosh. Why does it do this every time? Google Chrome resets, like it changes every single time. It's because I updated it today. There we go. Okay, got it. Okay, let me resize this because this is not what I want at all. Which button is it on the... Oh, it's the wrong keyboard, Jesus. Oh, this button. There we go. Okay. One sec, everybody. So this is their software here. And I would say, personally, it's missing a few things, right? Like, it's pretty straightforward for the most part, but it's missing a few things. It is. We'll connect the device here. Oh, I don't have it plugged in. It's missing a few things, and there's, again, I want to look at this from a few perspectives, and from, I guess, an enthusiast gamer perspective, we're missing. Actually, you know what? Actually, fuck it. We're not going to say enthusiast gamer perspective. From just a person using a keyboard with this much customization, we're missing one really crucial thing. And in fact, if they had this one really crucial thing, I think I could have possibly overlooked some of the other stuff. And that crucial thing is profiles. It's something I noticed right away. We have no profiles. So the reason why I noticed it was when I first set up the board, I was playing a game and I noticed that I wanted to change some of the keys up, and I'm like, hell yeah. And sometimes I answer emails on that same that same computer. And not thinking, I forgot to change, the setup for my layers. And I was like, okay, let me just go to the default profile. And I sat there and I remember scratching my head being like, where is it? Is it in any of these? Am I missing something? Like, is it a button on the bottom? But yeah, if you need to change something, so if you go to the actuation settings here and you change one of your keys to, let's just say a 3.5, you have to go, like if you change like 6 keys, you have to go back in and manually slide these all back to whatever default you want to use. The no profiles thing is such a huge point that I want to bring and like drive home to Ducky. Because again, software is so important when it comes to Hall Effect or Inductive or any of these analog keyboards. I've been saying this forever, that these keyboards are only going to be as good as its software. And this is... It's like, this feels, I don't mean to be rude, but it's like, it feels like kind of like a beta software. Like it's not fully there yet. And in comparison to some of the competitors, the software just feels lackluster, and it's just not quite there yet, right? We also have, actually, I love that I just landed on this right now, but the sensitivity just says high, medium, and low. I would have liked some way to know what these things actually do. on like what this means, sorry. Like, I get what they do, but it would have been nice to see some numbers, especially again when competitors are showing, like when on the Wooting one that I used, you can just change this to a number and I understand what it does. High, medium, low feels very again, lackluster is a good word, but you know, I did have fun setting up these. These were really cool. I ended up on the one that I'm using right now. Yeah, vague is a good word. I ended up changing the spacebar, for example, to something like really deep because I found myself, not on this, just when I game, I tend to lean into my keyboard. We talked about this the other day, and I had to change this actuation to be more so I could not lean into my keyboard, which is great. I love that. It's fantastic. Other than that, the multi-point trigger was fairly simple. I felt a little convoluted though setting up. What I would have really liked to see them do with the multi-point is not just kind of creating something for yourself, then making it this MPT1 and then going into key settings and then, you know, dragging it over here. I would have actually liked to see them implement a 5th tab or something over here where they could have, if you could click Q, for example, I can't click it now, but where you could have clicked one of the keys and then also had a secondary option to talk about or to change your multi-point trigger within that specific key instead of having to do all these extra clicks and buttons like that. I felt like that could have been a really nice touch just from like a UI implementation. But yeah, the main thing was profiles. The macros are whatever. Like, I feel like we've seen this in a bunch of boards. Actuation settings, again, we only have these, so we're missing some of the... I don't know how you guys feel about this. I personally don't use these things. But like some of the other features like snap tap and stuff like that, you know, think what you want, but you know, if other people are offering them, and I don't know, I personally still think some of those features are a little bit, you know, little dicey when it comes to things. I know sometimes it's banned, but it is what it is. You guys could hate it or love it, but it just doesn't have those compared to some of its competitors again. But the software was lackluster. It's not 100% there, right? And I would have liked to see them really implement some more well thought out software stuff. But I don't know how you guys felt about that, but I have some other points because here's where I think this keyboard's for, right? Like, I thought to myself the other day, I was like, dude, who's gonna buy this versus the competition stuff? I actually think this is, hear me out, I think this is rather well done for an out of box experience. For people who kind of want a do everything keyboard, but don't want to dive too much, like don't really care about, you know, the internals, or sorry, not the internals, the software rather, but kind of still want a little bit of, you know, maybe customization. So it took me a little while to really think like, okay, who is this going to be for? And it makes, you know, my answer ended up kind of being the same thing as what Ducky kind of says about their keyboards, specifically this one, which was Ducky kind of made this thing where it's like good for everyone. It's like good for people who are doing office work, like all this stuff. And I did find that I ended up really liking this for just about everything. Like, if I was a hardcore game, like someone who's really into hardcore gaming and I need the every ounce of, you know, advantage that I get, am I buying this? No, I am buying the stuff with the really good software. Because you know what, as much as I didn't like the way this sounds, I'm not listening to my keyboard, you know, while I'm playing games anyways. I don't know if you guys are people like that, and that's totally fine if you guys are, but I'm not listening to my keyboard. I'm just playing the fucking game. So I am not really, like, the sound here isn't a factor for a gaming keyboard for myself. But it is a factor for something like an office keyboard. And if someone only had the budget to buy like one thing and needed a really good out-of-box experience, yeah, I think this is a really good, you know, thing to buy over here. And I think it's positioned very well for like someone who's into gaming, someone who's into just general use, productivity, stuff like that. But again, I don't think it's like, again, someone mentioned this in chat, jack of all trades, master of none type thing. But this had to be, out of all the boards I've tried so far, one of the best out-of-box experiences I've tried. not including software. So please keep that in mind. We're just talking about the actual piece of hardware here. But it had to be one of the best ones. Like, that's why I kept going back to it. And it's weird because I'm saying this and I'm telling you guys, like, yeah, like there's a lot of cons when it comes to software. But ultimately, I ended up reaching for this one here the most. And that's why I want to talk about this one here after trying all of these. Because I don't know, I felt like I was just reaching for this one here out of all of them the most every single time, every single day. And it might be the fact that I like the way these switches felt more than the wooting. Maybe I just like the form factor of this one here. Maybe I just liked it was like the perfect weight for me to move it around and not feel like, cause this one here, dude, I know this is the zinc one, but dude, moving this around, because I do that a lot while I'm playing games. I move my keyboard around. This one here was apparently ass. I could not get this one here to be what I wanted it to be. But no, this was a nice option for that. Here's where I think Ducky needs to really focus in on, and that's refining their software. And that could also come in the form of it needs more time in market or on market. I feel like if it had more time on market, if it had refinement in software, punched in with the fact that this is a little bit less power consuming, as well as technically more precise, which again is another feature that I think I don't want people to overlook too. Dude, if this had better software, this would be a fucking powerhouse. Excuse my language. I feel like this could be super, super, super good if this had the better software to it. You know? Where I'm hoping now is Ducky hears some of the people's frustrations, or I don't know if that's a great word, but maybe some laments with the software. And I'm really hoping that at least we get profiles for this. Because for $140 versus some of the other stuff, I liked it. So hopefully we see that. Hopefully we see some refinement in software. But what I also wanted to do today was I also wanted to put GMK keycaps on this. So I haven't actually tried this with GMK stuff. So I'm very curious how this is going to sound with GMK. I really want to see it. I know I really shouldn't do that because it's, you know, it's not, it doesn't come stock like that, but I wanted to try. I used Logitech and SteelSeries type keyboards for gaming up until I bought the Wooting 60HE stock form. It was horrible sounding, but functioned for gaming great. Oh god, hiccups. I went ahead and bought an aluminum case and got some Geon Raptor HE switches for it, which improved the overall experience. I still left yearning for more in the sound profile, and I thought it might be getting from a custom keyboard. HE keyboards got me into the more premium custom keyboard scene. I still use Wooting for. Dude, I mean, that's really great that it was kind of like a gateway. I feel like these would be a gateway thing too, you know? Hold on, there's a bunch of things I want to read. Outside of this Ducky, I was rewatching a stream I missed the other day, and I noticed a really nice macro pad with a red knob. That was a Percent Studios one that I think QWERTY Keys is vendoring right now. Jen said, I feel like this board is really good for people who can't afford to get into customs, and that's a group of people that folks in this hobby can often forget about. Dude, for real! Because at the end of the day, too, like, not everyone is going to want to buy a custom keyboard. Not everyone wants to put in that work. So it's cool to see that we get some new tech stuff. And dude, you know, I think stuff like this is so important because if this ends up being really awesome, and let's just say Ducky makes awesome software in the next like month or so, and we really like these inductive switches, how cool would this stuff be in like a custom? Like, how cool would stuff like this be in as another alternative to like what we have now? Options are never a bad thing, especially when they're done well. For a first-gen product right now, like, I think this is done pretty well. Again, major limitation being here the software. But plus, you know what? I have a soft spot for Ducky. Ducky is probably what got a lot of people into the hobby, you know? I feel like Ducky really probably got so many people into this hobby at one point. They've been kind of quiet, I'd say, the last like few years, but okay. The only negative thing about this is I do wish these switches latched on to the plate a little bit more. So now we're gonna get into like some like custom stuff, I guess. But I really wish these latched onto the plate a little bit more, because these kind of pull off alongside with the keycaps. But we'll deal with it. Ducky got me into the hobby, so I kind of give them a lot of passes. I've been rather, you know, even when they had their last, like, what was it? that custom metal keyboard they released at one point. You know, I've been rather like, yeah, they're not like my faves at the moment, but it is what it is. Am I doing something wrong here? Did I put these upside down? I did. These are upside down because the LED should line up with the LEDs here. The pulling out the switches reminds me of cream sodas. This just reminds me of every hot swap board at this point here that I use PBT keycaps. Oh, by the way, the keycaps are interesting on this. Not really. I mean, I feel like this might be a good selling point for people too, maybe. But the keycaps, they're really high quality, according to Ducky. They're a very pure grade of PBT, which could be meaningless to a lot of people. But I haven't noticed any shine on mine, and like I said, been using it in like near daily. So props to them. They feel good. Like they're good feeling keycaps, and out of all the keycaps, like even the ones like on the Wooting and stuff, these felt like the best ones. They're extremely nice. Extremely, extremely nice keycaps. But again, this was you know, I don't know how much this speaks to anyone, but as someone who's into custom keyboards, and I'd say I'm into been into them for quite some time. Like I said, this is like the one that I kept reaching for. So, but yeah, these keycaps, great keycaps. No, I do wish they held the switches more. But you know what? I'm not going to hold that against them because this same thing happens with like HMX switches in a hot swap board. So you might have that interference if you haven't mentioned it. Interference for GMK keycaps. We'll see. Put striker on it. No, it's still on the cappy. I can't take striker off. I can't take it off now. Greg? Guys, no. Please. We just used Greg. I don't want to do it again, man. Striker is the new Greg? Civilization? I don't have Civ. I really wish I had Civ. I use a keycap puller at a slight angle to get the cap off without pulling. No, dude, these are like... They're kind of really on there, which again, not a con, but well, maybe to some people it might be a con. Cubes could be cool. Could maybe do cubes today. We'll see. I mean, it's a whiteboard, so this will go with literally anything we want. I do like the color of these switches, by the way. I think these are nice colors. Dots would be cool on this too. Bull is making Cap Midas. You should get that. Midas. Did I show off the little ducky? No, you know what? I haven't really gone through the accessories yet. It comes with a little ducky that has like a little brush inside of it. It comes with a cable. Ducky even has like... I feel like this is very Ducky. I remember back in the day, you would always get like... Well, not always, but you'd get like a really interesting Ducky keycap in the box too, which would be fun. Keycap puller, and then you get some... little extras over here. I like that color. It's a nice color. But this is that thing you guys are talking about. Brings me back to 2019. Yeah, definitely some nostalgia here too. Definitely. Okay, it's not opening this. We all need those new bags that Bull showed us, the perforated bags. We get this like little like fake keycap thing that this little, mascot sits on, and then it's a brush. You can brush off your keyboard. It's the little things, guys. It's the little things. It is indeed the little things. Okay, let me take off these. I've had one of those bags pop into my head like 10 times today. Why isn't everything in those bags? I'm telling you, dude, little things like that matter. It's the little things about the software, huh? Well, I don't think that was a little thing. I think that might have been a big thing. What do you guys think, though, out of curiosity? I know some of you guys here might not have interest in this, but like real talk, I actually think it'd be really cool to see this type of tech in our world here of custom stuff. I really think it's cool. Oh my god, this mirror's like stuck on. Not bad, yeah, not bad for sure. I'm gonna leave the stabs because the stabs were pretty good. I'm also gonna leave the foam for now. I want to see what it sounds like just from switching to GMK. And then after this, we can maybe open it up and then try taking things out and stuff like that. Although I'm a little nervous to take it apart. Not going to lie to you guys. Year of the Dragon, Year of the Snake. Wasn't last year of the Dragon? Or am I incorrect on that? Wouldn't it just be Year of the Snake now? Zenny. So nice. Oh my
Alex,
God.
I appreciate your input, dude, but you're always so positive, man. Honestly, man, this is the one thing I hate because you always have this
you
one
just
guy
changed
that
the
just
copy
needs
pasta.
to be super positive all the time. I
my
appreciate
God.
your input, but dude, I never see negative stuff come from you. It's just freaking
okay.
tiring, bro. I understand you want to glaze keyboards, but my goodness. Like, it really is tiring. It's boring to hear the same stuff over and over again. You love Ducky, cool. Find a new hobby maybe.
Damn, you took out the best part, bro. The best part was when I told him, oh my God, this one you're stuck in. The original copy pasta from when I yelled at that guy was so funny. But honestly, I love you too, Zenny. Dude, that original, oh man, that brings back, I haven't thought about that in a while. New phone, who this? What's up, Hema? How you doing? Novel stuff like this takes a while to catch on, especially if there's a competitor that non-enthusiasts like. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how this does on market. Like, my thought process for this board here is, I think where this is going to really shine is for someone who just wants something that sounds and feels good with some analog features right out of the bat. So, north facing, very gamer. Is there interference? Actually, technically, could you... You know, I never thought to ask this. I wonder if I could just flip the switch and have the RGB not matter anymore. Like, couldn't I just do that? Because there's no alignment points. It's centered on this, I believe. It still clips in this way. Oh, wait. No, I did the same way as everything else. 1 second, Jesus. Let's see. Yeah, it still clips in. Interesting. I mean, I can test that. We can test that as well. One way to find out, I'm actually typing on the same board. Oh, are you looking at it right now too? The bottom of the switch has an LED cutout. Yeah, it's like, you know those I feel like this was very popular at one point here in even the custom world, but you know those like little arcs that they're kind of cool looking when they have RGB go through them. But yeah. Flip a few and plug it in. Yeah, we'll try it. This keyboard looks cool. Ducky was one of my first mechanical keyboards in 2009. Damn, that has been a while. No, it's a cool keyboard for sure. But yeah, like I was saying, I don't remember if we finished our conversation. I'd be interested to see how this does. Like I said, I really enjoyed using this. And as someone who doesn't need... Because, like, I also feel like a lot of people just, when they think Hall effect or analog, they think, you know, they think first-person shooters. I feel like there's still a lot of use for other things here. But, yeah, I feel like this is a perfect out-of-the-box experience for someone who wants a bit of everything, including sound. I actually enjoy DSC for League more than RT for FPS. Oh, do you actually, Flick? Who's bullying who? Damn. After my TKL build I mentioned the other day, I got inspired after the stream and watched your Lumen Key 65 VOD. Ended up picking one up. The Lumen Key one's pretty good. Honestly, a pretty solid entry in the custom scene as well. I like Lumen Key stuff. I don't love all their new stuff, though. New stuff's been a little bit miss, but I just got called old. I come to the stream to troll, not get trolled. Damn. You, Annette, and Adam should form a club. See? Look at Annette. Can I look the Numa? Why do you want my Numa so bad? It's not even mine, technically. This is actually literally not mine. Rapid Trigger is nice for old school RuneScape sometimes. Yeah, I found some, like, my use cases, which were interesting. My use cases were, I found myself adjusting things for, like, per game. Again, really wish I had the profiles. But then I also found myself changing things for when I was writing emails. Like, for example, I had changed the backspace actuation, like, to be really sensitive, for example. Because I was making a lot of mistakes typing one night, and I was like, dude, how old's considered old? No one's old. Let's not go down that route. Let's be nice to one another. Also, little speech here, just because I'm gonna also put this in YouTube as well. Wanted to say this. It's really easy to look here and be like, I want the next new thing, and it's really easy to kind of want to spend money on the next thing, you know? But this is just a small reminder that keyboards are, in any form, you know, for the most part, are all luxury items. This included. This is a luxury item. So please, if you guys are buying things, like, please spend responsibly, you know? Don't go broke over buying a keyboard. Another piece of advice I'd like to give too, and I hope you guys don't mind, is if you guys are saving up to buy this, I don't know, a $500 keyboard, a $900 keyboard, try to save up for the thing you want. You know, don't live by, I live by this rule, buy once, cry once, you know? If you know that you'll only ever have like $200 to spend on a board, you know, please keep that in mind too. But if you know that you're able to put aside like $10 every month or $20 every month, and you really want the $300 thing, or even the $150 thing or $100 thing, I would personally suggest just like waiting to buy that thing that you want instead of buying a bunch of stuff that will bring you temporary happiness until you get the actual thing that you want it in the long run. I feel like it's a bit more financially responsible. You know, I know not everyone has that privilege though. So like I said, if you guys are in that situation and you have that privilege where you can save up a little bit more, then go for it. But I think your other point the other day, to not buy unless you can afford it 3 times over. Oh, that's another great point too we can bring up. You know, another thing too is if you can't afford to buy something 3 times over, don't buy it at all. But, you know, just be responsible buying keyboards and other things. Like, if it's not a necessity, think a few times over. Dude, yeah, this is $140. It is very well priced. Even the full size is like, I'm leaving these two like this, by the way, because I'm going to test them. Even the full price, or the full size one, is well priced. I think it's what, like $210 or something like that. It is extremely well priced, this board. Like I said, build quality is fantastic. The only thing that's lacking, in my humble opinion, like the major thing, is the software side, which can be seen as a good chunk of what these types of you know, analog keyboards are meant to be, is partially software. All right, now to find a GMK set. We could do Evil Eye. Evil Eye could look nice on this. Evil Eye? I haven't used this set in a hot minute. If you guys are down. Other than that, we could use... Oh, well. Half of my sets now are being used for Greg, unfortunately. I wonder why. Yeah, let's just do that one there. DMG? I've been using DMG a lot lately. Would you guys want to see DMG or Evil Eye? Up to you guys. I feel like we've used it on a bunch of like the Game Boy themed keyboards that have come out, so I'll leave it up to you guys. Serica? I don't know where all of my Serica set is. I checked my parents' house. I'm missing a few keycaps for it. That's why I haven't used it in forever, is because I literally have no clue where the rest of it went. All right, let's put some keycaps on this bad boy. I'm curious. I haven't even tried this yet, so I'm curious what this will sound like. I might want to tune up some of the stuff on this, so we'll see. But let's reserve our judgment for putting on all the keycaps as usual. The front lip tilt would drive me nuts as someone who plays FPS games with my keyboard tilted inwards. It could, and that's why I mentioned it right off the bat. It could drive you nuts. I think the shape of the side profile is cool in theory, but it would have been nicer this way. You know? It would have. No, I'm only going to leave these two because I want to see if there's even a problem with anything like that. I don't know. We'll see if there's a problem. This goes here. It's called GMK Evil Eye. I'm gonna use my other keyboard for reference. I know I build a lot of keyboards, but sometimes I forget where everything goes. Whoopsie. Do you guys think we went through a lot of the stuff on this keyboard? Oh, you know, another thing I actually did want to bring up, but I feel like this kind of goes without saying and kind of a pointless conversation is, yeah, there's not a lot of compatibility on this, but like I'm not expecting there to be. But just for the sake of consistency, because I bring this up during custom reviews, we'll bring it up. But again, I don't think that's a point that needs to be brought up here. But just for the sake of talking. I think we went through too much with this board. I want it to be very thorough because this is something very new. And I want to give as much, like, truthfully, I want to give as much criticism as I can, both positive and negative, to Ducky. Because, hey, I want them to have the cool product. Like, I think this is a cool product, and I'd like to see, not saying what I'm saying is like the make or break, but, you know, it'd be cool to give my honest thoughts and opinions on these type of things. Would love to see them do super well. I want everyone to do well. Gaming will be 72 hours for game review purposes. I mean, I've gamed a shit ton of games, so. Your input is much valued. Thank you, Imposter. I hope you enjoyed this stream too, man. I can tell you guys this much too, though. I'm probably still going to be using the Ducky. Maybe the GMK keycaps will be sick on this. I haven't even tried. But I'm still going to be using the Ducky for my gaming rig. I liked it. It's fun. It's good little board. If they release this in a metal case for like a $20 to $30 premium, it would print money. I don't disagree. I personally think that if they did... Dude, you know what? Actually, not even just aluminum. I feel like if they just refined the case a little bit more, including how it opens, by the way. But if they refine the case itself... Okay, let me make something very clear. First priority is fix the software. Then, if they refine the case a little bit, and if it didn't alter anything too crazy about the board, this could be a real contender for something that I feel like just everyone loves. Because again, there is some advantages with this technology over the HE stuff, right? That precision might be really important in the future. Maybe that makes your keyboard just last a lot longer. Will this be good for my Excel spreadsheets? Yes, it'll be the best ever ad for that. How many Excel spreadsheets you got, my guy? My Google, I don't use Excel. I use Google Sheets because Excel confuses me for some weird reason. Excel is not my friend. Imagine how quickly you can input your Excel. Yeah, technically, yeah, you can really min-max that for that. True. Big true. Absolutely. I've never seen someone that uses Google Sheets. Agreed. The sound is already decent. Some improvements, and it could really, it would be really hard to pass up for me. Yeah. I don't know. I even personally think that its current configuration, like the sound for me with the PBT keycaps, excellent. I thought these were excellent PBT. Very, very nice. But yeah. Oh, I wanted to also say something because I saw like a few people talk about this. People were saying that there was like a scent to this keyboard or something like that. I can't confirm, or I cannot confirm that there was a scent. I've never, like, other than when I opened it for the very first time, you know, like that brand new plastic kind of smell. But I've never smelled anything on this board. You know, believe it or not, the Cappy that we opened the other day had more of a scent. Holy sheesh, the blue and white keycaps look so good on this board. There you go. Ducky, new idea. Don't copy the set, but, you know, like, blue and white. It does look good. I do like, you know, actually, speaking of something, too, maybe we didn't talk about too much about this, but I do like the framing of this, though. The chunkier chin on this board, albeit I don't like the angle of it, but the chunkier chin kind of looks cool, no? It kind of looks cool. If this was positioned outwards, that could be really nice. But I already have pretty strong biases towards that, so I really like boards like that. No. Put that down. Just Googled what's the difference between inductive, analog, HE, and reg. Well, mechanical switches are mechanical, so they're going to be a quick little dive on this. Oh shit, this was lubed stuff that I was doing. Mechanical switches have this little leaf that you press down on the switch and it contacts the other side of the leaf and then sends a signal to the PCB. So it's a mechanical switch because it's, you know, a moving piece. Hall effect uses a magnet in the bottom of the stem, which disrupts the flow of electrons or something in the PCB, and then that gives you a readout that's measurable. So basically, imagine it like, how can I make this make more sense? Imagine it like this is the flow of stuff, and it's kind of like this. But when you press down on the switch, it kind of brings this down with it, and this is measurable. And then inductive, this is the inductive PCB over here, and it's bringing out like a little frequency type thing. And when you bring down the switch, it changes the way this reacts to it, which is measurable as well. The only difference is this is not using a magnet. This is just using a piece of metal. So that's the differences. Why is there an auto mod for mod pipe? Probably something Sora did. I hope that made sense. Appreciate the explanation. No problem. That was a very crude explanation, but I hope that sort of made sense. Very, very crude. I apologize. Do these inductive switches also need the PCB to be really stiff, or can it have flex? You know, that's a really great question that I don't have a lot of information on. That is a really good thing to maybe ask. I don't know if anyone in Ducky could answer that rather quickly, but I guess what I would imagine is you would need it to be stiff, because you still wouldn't want it to move around. Like I would assume you would want it to be as stiff as possible. So I don't think movement would help in this particular situation, like having it being really flexy. But again, for a counterpoint there, and I've said this with not just this type of board, but I think that is still possible to do a very stiff plate PCB combination and have a very soft mounting system, if that makes sense. I think that is extremely possible, and I think could be really important to think about too, that both are technically possible. Gotta eat, and I don't know when I'll be back. Good night, Squill. Take care, man. The case color with this set is quite nice, actually. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Pretty cool. I do like this a lot. This looks really good. Yeah, and again, you know what? I'm a sucker. I know this is like a gaming keyboard or something that's not a custom, but again, you know what? I love this. I'll say this with my full chest, dude. My full chest. Having toggles and stuff, we don't get to see that much in the custom world. Other than what, like the Photon the other day. I love having toggles on this. Please. Tired of taking off keycaps to figure out where all the toggles are and stuff like that. Have you worked on any wooting boards yet? Do you mean customized? Slightly. But the one I've been mainly using to kind of demo myself into pull effect stuff would be this guy. Actually, other side note too is my girlfriend has actually been using these boards as well. And again, this has been the most reached for board. But prior to this, prior to the other day, because this second one just came in recently, we only had one, and I was using it. So we had to split time with it, you know. I hate the Wooting 80H layout. I'm not too particularly peeved by this layout, but I did not like the stock switches that came with this. I also hate the price point on this metal version because I also just don't like zinc as a material. I think this feels like it sounds weirdly. I don't know what it is about this particular material and everything, but I sort of felt like this felt a little cheap. I think the plastic one would make more sense for me, but the metal one is it's all right. My HR saw me bring my own board to the work, and she asked me what would happen if the office board they provided. Wait, sorry. She asked me what happened to the office board they provided, and brought me an extra office board, thinking the original was broken. Did you break that one there? Did you snap it in front of their face and be like, "Never give this to me again"? Did you end up getting your girlfriend those cute figurine blind boxes? No, you know what it is. Okay, those are really nice in theory. You know what I mean? It's really cool to think, I want to give people blind boxes, and then I really think about it afterwards. It's they're fun to open, and then I'm just stuck with stuff that we can't fit around here. Because, we're already pressed for space. So every time I think some of those things would be cool, I'm just dude, where do we put it afterwards? So, the hippo build? Did you guys want that build on YouTube? I could. It's still technically a VOD, so yes. Hi, Zany. How you doing? Yeah, but ended up not doing it just because I didn't have space. You guys know what I mean, though, right? Sometimes it's nice to think about those things, then you're like, damn, where do I put them afterwards? What am I missing here? Which keycap am I missing? This one. My work actually gave me a cherry board because it has smart card reader and it sits behind my laptop. I mean, that's really cool. Wait, I need the entity, right? A smart card reader is interesting. I'm interested to hear the difference with these keycaps. Yeah. And I swear to God, if someone on YouTube says, "Why am I testing this board with GMK keycaps?" Bro, I just want to try it, okay? How it's unfair or something. It doesn't sound overly foamy. I feel like maybe I could do a little bit better on lubing these switches. This is just the stock lube. You know, the space bar is nicer with the ABS. I did like the PBT alphas a lot more, though. Low-key the best sounding pre-built. Yeah, I mean, I also liked the sound signature, even with these. So, did the upside down switches change anything? What was that? I think it was the N and the B or something like that. I mean, I don't see any difference, guys. Do you guys see any difference here? N and M? Yeah, in fact, I think maybe the N and M switches are feeling a little weird with this being upside down. Yeah, maybe. Do they still type? I mean, oh yeah, that's a good point too. Let's see if they even register like this. Let's see. Let's see. But I don't think I feel any interference or anything like that. Let's see, let's see. Oh, maybe a little bit. But yeah, they still type. So actually, there is a little bit of a sound profile by flipping those. But what happens if I... Let's take this off. What happens if I flip them back? Is there a little clicking sound? I wonder if it's just that piece of plastic. No. That weird clicking sound is now gone when I flip them around. So maybe the north facing is... Although I don't know if that was also like impacting the LED or something like that, so I have actually no idea. Might be that little light reflector thing too. I don't think there's any issue with them being north facing in this, even with GMK keycaps. No issue at all. BNM? Oh, was it? Shit, did I put one the wrong way here? What do you mean? I did. Oh, I put the keycaps. My bad, my bad, my bad. Does he know? Oh, it's okay. Well, now I know. Now I know. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Shall I attempt to open this for you guys? I'm a little nervous, but if you guys want... I didn't break the first time I did it, but who knows? Maybe I'll break it today. This sounds way better than any HE switch. You think so, Scooped? I also, out of all the analog stuff I've used... Again, I actually might have preferred it with the PBT that Ducky's offering. Sound-wise, I agree. I think this particular board might be the way the inductive stuff works. Even right out of the box, I think this sounds really fucking good. Probably, again, one of the reasons why I keep reaching this to be kind of like an all-around board for myself. So, not hard to do. The best of the HE switches sound like dog shit. Really, I don't think the Geon ones sound all that bad. Like, they're alright. I don't know. I haven't had the best of luck in all my journey with HE stuff. I've tried it. I don't remember all the names, so don't quiz me on them. But I've tried about 6 or 7 different switches at this point. Yeah, I couldn't get them, like, I didn't mod any of them to the extent of just past lubing, but yeah, they were just all right. Another banger, Alex, would not have known about this board or Switch if you had not looked at it. Thanks. Anytime, dude. Command 65, probably next week. I know it's a little bit later than you guys would probably like, but this week's been stacked. Dude, the whole day I have been just finalizing some notes about this keyboard because I really wanted to get as like critical of a review as I possibly could. But yeah, like I said, been using this since December 2nd. And technically, last night was the first time that I didn't really reach for this board, only because I was actually gonna take a look at the one that I had been using and not this one. But then I realized it was kind of grimy, so I didn't want to show you guys my grime. That's it. Compliment for Dane. Dane, you sound just as nice as this keyboard, alright? I hope you're having an excellent day, my friend. And even if you were a bit grimy, I'd still show you off. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but take it for what it is. Alright, now the clips, if I remember correctly, were like in the center over here. How did I do this last time? I'm gonna do this in my lap. Sorry, guys. It's just easier for me. He doesn't sound because he's typing, not speaking. Damn, and it correcting me? That's crazy. Who would have thunk it? Not me. Like I said, I don't love the way this opens up, and I wish those plastic clips weren't there. I also don't really see a need for those plastic clips, but it is what it is. Okay, I think we're good. I think I actually got it all without breaking it. I did. Wonderful. Oh, I did not break them. Sorry. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Off camera, Alex has a crowbar using this. No, it's just my fingies. But it's just easier to do in my lap. Damn, look at the internals of this. So, Here are the gaskets, the silicone tab gaskets. Then we have some JST connectors over here. But yeah, these are these silicone gaskets. You know what I'm actually kind of curious about too? So another design thing, this is for Ducky's knowledge, and I don't think this truly matters for this particular keyboard at all, and it's also, it adds to the rigidity of this plate, but what I probably would have done, just so Ducky knows, is I would have moved these large tabs. So see how these are large tabs over here? I would have moved this from here to like here and here, and just left the bottom a little bit more open. Again, I don't know about rigidity for this, and I don't know if that would have caused some unnecessary flex with the PCB, but I think that could have, from a sound profile, and even to somewhat a comfort profile, it kind of creates a little bit more of a balanced spacebar sound and feel, because you're not just directly, smacking your thumb against this tab over here. But here, if you guys look, you can see how the switches work on this. Show you guys a little up close to this bad boy. See this? That's how these work. And that's how they're going to measure how far you're pressing in and whatnot. It's quite interesting when you look at it up close. Extremely, extremely interesting. But let's remove some of this stuff on the bottom for now. There's a big piece of silicone here, which... Do I want to remove that? Do you guys want to see this without the silicone on the bottom? The stuff in between I'll leave. But if you guys are interested, yes or no, yes. There's the battery. Ooh, a lot of static with that one. So there's the battery there. It's covered with a piece of, I don't know, some sort of plastic piece over here to protect it from the foam, I guess. Quite nice, like a little window. Let's put this back. I wonder too, what if I don't put back this gasket tab? I think we need to. You know what? Let's just leave that back on. I don't want it to smack against the plastic and cause rattling. Future Funk looks so good on that board. Which board is it? That's the Numa it's the Mark II Numa, right? Yeah. I don't think that's the original one. Memory serves, that's the Mark II. But it's in my exclamation point keyboard. All right, so now we're going to put this back together. And now also that means putting our plastic tabs back together here. Which again, feels a little unnecessary considering we have screws. I don't think I unplugged anything, right? I don't think I did. You guys doing MK jokes? Damn, that's crazy. Poor MK. But also, I get it. Oh, man. Big 2025, we still use silicone? Technically, the classic TKL uses silicone on the bottom. It's not a bad material to use. I don't know what it'll sound like without the silicone, by the way. So please remember that I don't know. It could sound good, it could sound bad, who knows. If it sounds bad, I open it back up and put it back in. Definitely a little bit more empty. Maybe instead of the silicone, maybe we leave the silicone out, but maybe we put some of the foam back in. Yeah, this sounds now without the stuff in between, which I mean, it's part of what you're buying this keyboard for. You know, it's weird. I like the alphas a little bit more open. I don't like the spacebar now. Interesting nonetheless, though. I don't think I'd take it out. I think I would leave this all in. No, let's open it back up. I want to play around with it a bit now. You guys got me interested. Pens on the board sounds terrible on the first iteration of the Margot. Yeah, I mean, dude, there are some boards where I felt like the silicone needed to be taken out, and some that needs to be left in. So can't say I quite like that though. Ducky One X Mini or Cappy R2. They're very different boards. Very, very different. Do you need Like, dude, if you're after an analog board, then I think it's a no-brainer at that point. But if you just want what sounds best and feels best, then, you know, that's going to be a very personal decision there. Also, the price point differences on both of those are hugely different. So, which one smells better? I don't know, man. Well, I'm going to take this out very carefully again here. With the foam taken out, it sounds more like a similar traditional plastic pre-built 60. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Which one is more lickable? Okay, where are we getting these questions from? Who's putting you guys up to this? Who is putting you guys up to these questions right now? I need to know. I really, really need to know, guys. What are my top 5 keyboards? I feel like that's a bit of a difficult decision to make, but if I had to pick one that I've been using the most right now, it probably is the Pangea Mini. Pangea Mini, Encore, Sonnet. I've been using that a lot too. Like, my Sonnet's literally sitting right over there, waiting to be used for tonight when I'm doing editing. I mean, the Numa is, you know, I might leave this on my desk for a little bit. It really just depends. Like, I'm blessed that I'm able to pick from a bunch of different boards, but, like, I don't know. There's not, like, one right now that I would say is, like, there's not 5 right now that I can say is, like, my definitive 5. Okay, I'm going to leave this piece of foam out. I feel like I don't really need this piece of foam. Or, you know what? Maybe we just put everything back in here. What do you guys think? Everything back in or no? Even I'm confused. What do I want to do? What would it take to get a Blueberry keyboard? What do you mean by Blueberry keyboard? No foam with silicone? Okay, let's do no foam. Keyboard made of fruit? Sounds rather difficult to do. I don't know if that's possible. I don't think it changed the typing feel at all. The plate assembly is way too rigid right now for that to even affect anything, in my opinion. So I don't think so. At least not right off the bat. I didn't notice anything. I probably have to type on it for much longer to notice anything like that at all. Is that a pun on cherry? Who? Who's punning cherry right now? What switches on the Numa so I can make the completely original build? I think those aren't those Nixies on this? Like, I'm 90% positive these are Nixies. Oh no. Shit, I don't remember what these are. Honestly, I'd have to go look at the build stream again. I really don't remember. They're an SWK switch, though. I'm pretty positive. Do you know where I can get foam kits for their generic 65? Does Stupid Fish still do stuff? Perhaps you can try them? Yeah, not much different without that piece of foam. At least nothing that I can perceive at the moment. Yeah, you know, I'm going to switch back to the PBT afterwards. I did actually like Ducky's own PBT keycaps on this board more. So, overall, fun board. Again, I'm not going to go over the takeaways because I feel like we just did that, but this needs to be closed more. But fun. Just buy the Mode 65 foam kit. Oh, you could. Can you buy that separately though? Can you? I'm not even sure. I'm honestly not sure. I thought you had to buy the board to even get access to that thing. I like this setup too. Looks nice. Yeah. The board looks good. The board looks good with this keycap set on it. I do agree. Let's actually look at it from the side profile again. Oh my gosh. Actually, yeah, even the silver on the back does look quite nice. What's the mounting style? It's 6, I believe it's 6 total gasket tabs with silicone gaskets. Switches on Numa or SWK Mocha. Thank you, Zany. Appreciate it. But that's pretty much the stream, guys. I hope this was informative. I'm going to have, if you guys want a complete, what's it called? What is it? Oh my God. Summary of this. I'm going to have the YouTube video up soon. Probably tomorrow, to be honest. I'll share Fallout caps on the 60 next time. Fallout caps? Oh, that sounds cool. Before you go, have a look. A tier list? What is this? If this is the underwear tier list? Relationship red flags? Bro, how do you even read any of this, Zany? Everything's so... Bro, I can't. I don't even want to zoom in for this one here. Nah, this looks toxic. I don't want to do this one here. Thanks again, Alex. See everyone next time. Good night, all. Yeah, good night, everybody. Zany, we should find one for food next time. Another food one. I love doing the food ones. Thanks for another chill night. Take it easy. Yeah, again, I hope this was informative. I hope this helped people make decisions if they were maybe already looking at this. But ultimately, pretty fun. It was great. Thank you. Food red flags, ketchup on steak. True. I mean, preference. You know what? Fuck it. No, we're going to be real. Preference, man. Preference indeed. All right, guys. Let's go find someone to raid. Let's go see Twitch. Thanks for really spending time testing out the board. Guys, what I'm telling you, I tried my absolute best to give you as much information as possible about this. And, I mean, not only be objective, but be very in-depth with everything that I can. Like, this was really important to me because this was something new. And it was something that's new to market. And I really liked this board. And I would have not done this if I didn't like this board. I would have picked a different analog keyboard to take a look at, but this is ultimately the one that I ended up using the most of, so I decided the Ducky was deserving of that, and I got to talk to Ducky about it, and they were really honored by the fact that I used this the most, because I told them, I'm like, hey, you know what, I actually couldn't put this down. So it was fun. It was a really, really fun experience. But let's go raid Mr. Diego. Oh, this is not set to Mac. Great honor to be here. Thank you, man. Thanks for sending this out. Thanks for the enthusiasm as well from you. But appreciate you guys. See you guys very soon. Actually, I'll take some photos of this with the keycap set on it before I take this off, because it does look really cool with the GMK keycap set. But thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys want to give Ducky some love too, take a look at their stuff for sure. But thank you, guys. I know they worked really hard on this, and it really meant a lot to a whole bunch of different people too. After speaking with them, it was a really, really fun, eye-opening experience too. But bye, everybody. See ya, and talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone.